Mother, tell your children not to.
Hello all, and welcome to my review of pay-per-view that just ended. I usually watch a pay-per-view twice, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I'll explain why here in a little bit, but before I review it. But let's get started with this pay-per-view. Hard Justice, TNA's Hard Justice, just happened tonight. Just finished not too long ago, so let's review this sucker, shall we? We start with Triple X, Daniels and Senshi with Alex Skipper versus the Motor City Machine Guns, and the Guru Sanjay Dutt with Black Machismo Jay Lethal. Great match. Match of the night, in my opinion, without a doubt. Great way to start off the evening. Was just really fun. I really like this. I checked some other people's reviews online. I definitely liked this more than they did. In my opinion, they thought it was a little too spot happy. It was spot happy, but I liked it. This is the type of spot match that I do like. Was very Lucha Libre-esque in my opinion. They gave these guys time, which I always complain about. And so, yeah, this was definitely, after I watched the match, I rated it 3 3/4 stars, but to be honest, it's probably closer to 3.5 stars. Still very good, undoubtedly match of the night, and that should tell you something, boys and girls. Next, we have Raven with Serotonin versus Frankie Kazarian. This was a surprisingly good match, in my opinion. I liked this match as well. This also had some pretty fun stuff on it. A couple of good spots. Didn't go too long. Only went just over 5 minutes, which I thought was good considering Raven's Raven's limit abilities at the time. But pretty much was a lot of fun. Kind of an old school, heel group versus face match. I like this a lot. Definitely, I would definitely go 2 3/4 stars on this. I probably like this more than a lot of other people did too. But hey, I really did like it. Then we had Rhino versus James Storm. This to me was a complete and utter letdown. I have seen Rhino do better hardcore matches, phoning matches than this, in my opinion. Not only that, but for whatever reason, Rhino was drinking during this. I thought the whole thing about this was that, he was supposed to be like a recovering alcoholic. Why would he be drinking? I don't get it. I don't understand it. It was very strange to me at all. Definitely really hurt the match. It was okay, but definitely this should have been a lot better than it was. This is one of the matches that I really thought was going to be really good. Wasn't very good in my opinion. Just 2 stars in my opinion. Then we had LAX versus the James Gang. This again was what you would expect. Luckily, it only went about just a little bit over 5 minutes as well. You can only take, VKM for so long. And yeah, this originally ended with the voodoo chick throwing voodoo powder, I guess, into Hernandez's eyes, and then Guerrero came in, got the match restarted, and then LAX won. Which to me was a lot better, but I did like this match. I thought this was good. I thought this was about as much time as this match deserved. I thought they did good for what it was, and so I will go a 1 3/4 on that. So I didn't think it was quite 2 stars, but I did think it was a fun match, and that's what you want. Then we had the humiliation match: Eric Young versus Robert Roode. This was fun. This was okay in my opinion. As most of you know, I'm not a big Robert Roode fan, so there you go. And this was just okay in my opinion. I originally rated this at 2 stars, but then the after-match stuff happened with Mr. Brooks getting tar and feathered, and even though Robert Roode won the match, which I really didn't get, because shouldn't Eric Young have been humiliated? It really didn't make any sense to me, and so yeah, it went down to a match in 3/4 in my opinion, because this was just blah. Then we had Chris Harris versus Black Rain Dustin Rhodes. This was crap. This was, in my opinion, this was just less than 5 minutes. It shouldn't have gone less than 5 minutes. This was a horribly booked squash where, Dustin went over Harris and basically beat the tar out of him. It was just not good to watch. I would put this at a 1/2 star. This wasn't good. This is the type of thing that should have been on Impact, by the way. If this would have worked a lot better on Impact. So would have the Raven Kazarian match, in my opinion, too. I think that's the type of match they should be putting on Impact more often. But this is the type of thing that should be on Impact, wasn't on Impact. Why? I have no idea. This was basically just a waste of 5 or so minutes of a pay-per-view that really didn't need it, and yeah, just horrible. Then we had Team 3D versus the Steiners. This went a little longer than I would have liked. This went in about just a bit over 10 minutes, about 10 to 13 minutes, I think. And this was okay. In my opinion, I thought this was good. I thought that particularly the last 5 minutes, they really picked it up and they did what I thought they should have done. I thought I really would have booked this more of a 5-minute match and really just did the spots people wanted to see. Let the guys just go out there, do a kind of a fast-paced, fun match. This should have been a fun match and should have been booked in a fun way because none of these guys are in their prime. So just go out there, let them hit their spots, and let the fans just kind of cheer that on. But it went far too long. But they did hit their spots. The Steiner brothers won, which I felt was kind of weird because they're definitely not a team you're going to use again, I hope. And Team 3D is. So I thought that was a little odd. But still, Rick Steiner hit a Frankensteiner, which, hey, anytime he's willing to do that, I'm willing to, bump the rating up a little bit. So I'll give this, 2 stars just on the fact that, he did hit a Frankensteiner. And it was fun. It did have some fun moments. And so I thought that in that point, it was okay. All right. Then we had Pac-Man Jones come out. That was pointless. It should have been on Impact. Why they did that on a pay-per-view, I have no idea. Even though I do understand that it helped them set up the Doom Cage match, which I was looking forward to. The rules of this match was you could only pin someone who was bleeding. This match again was horrible. There was not a single high spot that I saw, which is what you expect in a match like this. I think only 3 guys were busted open. Not even Mitchell's Monster didn't even show up. Abyss ended up winning by taking AJ Styles and choke slamming him on, or was it Blackpool Abyss? I can't remember. Doing something on. That's how bad this match was. On some glass. Christian Cage got out of the cage after he was in the cage with hardwire. It was just pointless. The match wasn't very good. This was a 2-star match, and for a 2-star cage match, that should tell you how bad this was. This just was not very good. You know what? I won't give it 2. I'll give it 2.5. But still, that's not even good. A cage match minimum should be 3 stars, and this was just horrible. Horrible for. I could not believe what I was watching. And then we get to the main event: Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe. Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe. I should not say Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe had a match on a pay-per-view and say what I'm about to say. This match was 2 3/4 stars. That's how horrible. This match was slow. It wasn't booked right. There was a swerve at the end where Angle's wife, wound up tricking Joe and hitting Joe with a chair, and so you had a swerve. So Angle won. This was horrible. There wasn't enough good wrestling. This was nothing we hadn't seen before from these guys. It was basically all the spots that they used in their first 3 matches. Joe didn't go over, which I'm not going to like anyways. This was just utter crap, folks. And yes, you heard me right. There was 1 match on this entire pay-per-view which I would have ranked over 3 stars. And that was 3.5. This was worse than No Way Out, in my opinion. And that takes some doing. You purposely, in my opinion, have to book a pay-per-view for it to be that bad. This was that bad. Folks, all of you TNA fans, I hope to God that Bill, I think Bill's the one that's going to get married this weekend. If he sees this, before he sees the pay-per-view, do not ruin the best week of your life by watching this pay-per-view. It's going to break your heart. This was so crappy. This was so horrible. I could not believe it. What were they thinking? Who booked it? This was just utter shit. And all of you TNA little sheep, little lemmings, you need to just tear TNA apart on this. Anyone that wasted their money on this pay-per-view, I am glad I didn't waste my money on this pay-per-view. Because I didn't. I watched it. I didn't waste my money on it. This was horrible. This was crap. This was just... I cannot explain how bad. This was WCW back in 1999, 2000, 2001 bad. This was bad. This was horrible. This was crap. This is not something you should give your fans. I'm out. Oh, and by the way, free Joe. Joe needs to leave TNA now. Just now.